What's going on, guys? I just got out of watching Avengers Infinity War for the second time, and I gotta say, it was quite an amazing ride, just as amazing as the first time I watched it, and you gotta give props to the Russo brothers for what they did with this movie. Now, this is not gonna be a movie review, so I'll talk about that another time, but what I do want to talk about, and I might end up rambling here, so just bear with me, but I got a text coming out of the theater from Darren of Heroes Avenue telling me to read this article on Heroic Hollywood concerning the Russo brothers potentially directing a DC movie. And if you're like me, you always wondered what it would be like, because so far they are 3 for 3 with their movies with Marvel. So if you are like me and you wondered about that, then you are out of luck, because they did address this issue directly at one of their speaking events just recently. And I'm going to go ahead and read off the Heroic Hollywood article directly. So Anthony Russo had the shorter answer, explaining that the two had always been much bigger fans of Marvel, even adding that his brother Joe still had a closet full of Marvel comics back home. Joe, however, had a slightly different answer. He explained that the characters in the DC Comics universe were unrelatable and were far too powerful to be interesting. He also added that since they grew up in Cleveland during the time where the city was bankrupt, they felt a connection to the underdog characters that defined the Marvel universe. However, he did reveal that Batman was likely the most interesting of the DC comic characters due to his humanity and fallibility. So, guys, there's a lot to unpack in just that little portion of the article right there. That's pretty much the whole article, actually. But I gotta say, I am not gonna knock the Russo brothers on having an opinion on the preference of comic book characters or publishers, because hey, that's your opinion. If you love and prefer Marvel characters because you enjoy the characters and the dynamics in that universe more, that's great. I'm glad it's there for you, and I'm glad Marvel's pushing out a bunch of great movies, movies, TV shows, what have you. But I do have a lot of trouble with their opinion on DC characters and the DC universe in general. In particular, the DC Comics universe being unrelatable and characters being far too powerful to be interesting. Because, I think this debate has been going on for a long time in the comment boards and social media and things like that. And I think this specific argument comes from a place where, they're just a little bit uninformed about the characters. I mean, I couldn't disagree more with, just for example, a lot of people say that opinion, that popular statement about Superman. But if you really dig into the characters, a lot of them are based, they stem from tragedy. And, as humans, we all face some sort of tragedy that has shaped our lives somehow. And Superman, in Superman's case, he is his home planet is destroyed. He's an alien trying to fit in with the rest of us. An outsider trying to coexist with us humans, and he was raised with the same values as us, but he's still an outsider trying to fit in. And with the powers of a god, he is choosing to live by those values and be a beacon of hope. And that's not unlike us in our society now. We got the powers that be, who we look up to, in our government. After any tragedy happens, we look for them to take a leadership role, to provide us hope, to move us forward as a country. I think we all of us will connect to certain heroes in a different way. And for the, I just used the example of Superman right there, but I think with many of the DC characters, they're going to speak to a lot of different people, and they do speak to a lot of different people. And to say that they're too powerful to be interesting, just look at what they're doing in the comics right now. Look at what they're doing with the Injustice video games. If you look at their animated, what they're doing with the animation, the stories that they're telling, they're really amazing. And in a lot of ways, they are beating what Marvel's doing in the comic book ends and in the video games and in the animation. And that's my opinion, but it's a popular opinion. So not to say that Marvel isn't doing telling great stories as well, but I'm just arguing against the opinion of the Russo brothers, talking about how DC characters are uninteresting and unrelatable. If I was Russo brothers, would I want to direct a DC movie given the state of what the WB is doing right now? Probably not. So I'm not sure if they're forming this opinion based on the movies that the DC universe has put out so far. Been some hits and misses for sure. And I think they have, WB has, botched this universe almost every step of the way. They got it going really well, and they start to doubt themselves, and they're being very reactionary after each movie's coming out, and they are their own downfall so far. But as we do know, Walter Amada has come in to right the ship. And, you know, who knows what we're going to get in the future with Aquaman, Shazam, Wonder Woman 2 coming out, and an eventual Batman trilogy with Matt Reeves, potential Superman or Man of Steel 2 coming out. So I don't know if the Russo brothers have formed this opinion based on the movies that have come out so far, or if they really believe this about the DC Universe characters. But if it is true that they believe this, they believe the characters to be unrelatable and uninteresting, then, man, I'm really disappointed. So I know I kind of rambled on a little bit right there, but let me know what you guys think about the Russo brothers' comments on DC characters being unrelatable and uninteresting, because I totally disagree. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on Instagram at Heroes Avenue if you haven't already, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.